Hey friends, welcome back to the Deep Dive Snippet. So there is this common misconception that we have in our culture obsessed with productivity and hustling and stuff, that we need to control our time, we need to manage our time. Time is this thing to be tamed. And in this little clip, which is a clip from our conversation with Oliver Burkeman, the author of 4,000 Weeks, we're going to talk a little bit about that. So hopefully you enjoy it. Let's roll the clip.
Yeah, I think that's the balancing act, like that I found as well in my life without a child, is where I will try my best to set an intention for the day of like, this is the one thing that I want to do. And I will try my best to broadly stick a time block in the calendar for when I will want to do that one thing. Knowing that, like, to be honest, if a friend was like, hey, do you want to grab lunch? I will prioritize social life over work, generally. And the way I think of it is like, the rest of the things I want to do today are a might to-do list rather than a to-do list. And I'm still experimenting, still trying to figure out like what's like a realistic maximum number of things like I'm allowed to have on that list. Mm-hmm. Because I think otherwise for me, the temptation is there. I'd be like, oh, well, I'll call my grandma and then I'll call my mum and then I'll call my aunt. And then, okay, so that's the relationship box ticked. Oh, then I need to message about 8 different friends and I need to send thank you cards. And Christmas is coming up. So let me send great gifts, blah, 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 blah. And then I need to do all these different things, checking all these videos that are coming out. And the list just swells. Whereas what I've been trying to do recently is just be like, I'm only allowed to do three things on this list. And if after that, I still have more time and I feel like doing like quick work, then at that point I can freestyle it. But I just never get through just even those 3 things on the list. And one of the things I really liked about your sort of like at the end of the book, you have a sort of practical advice-y section for those of us that are like, okay, I like that, mate. Enough philosophy. And we get to the tips. You talk about, I think sort of having like a maximum number of things that you're allowed to do, something to that effect.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different ways of implementing this, and you'll be familiar with many of them. But this idea of like limiting your work in progress, this idea of saying like I'm only going to work on a fixed number of things, and I'm going to complete one of those things before I allow myself to put another item onto that queue. And obviously you can do this at the level of like projects. You could say I'm only going to have like one major goal in my work at a time. And you can also do it to some extent at the level of tasks, right? You can be like, well, these are the 3 things I'm going to do, and until I've done one of them, nothing else is coming off that task list. And Kanban boards are an obvious way to implement this, and I've got this idea in the book about keeping 2 to-do lists where you sort of feed items from an infinite to-do list through a very narrow, limited to-do list. And again, it's just all about like saying, look, you're already making choices, your time is already finite. Whenever you're doing something, you're already saying no to all the other things in that moment. So now just like make it conscious and sort of hold yourself to it and avoid that thing that I certainly am very prone to. I think lots of people are, where it feels like you're more in control of things if you just sort of spread your attention among 50 of them.
Yeah.
But actually it isn't, because you're not more in control of them. You're not making better progress on them because you just bounce from one to the next whenever they get difficult. So you just go around it.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm finding this with the book as well, which one of my writing coach says is normal for a first draft, where I will get 80% of the way through and then it starts to feel like, I need to round off the argument somehow. But I can't be bothered right now. Let me just do chapter 8.
Right.
And I'm hoping that towards the end of it, then I'll be able to think about this kind of stuff.
Hey friends, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this clip, then click here for the full unedited episode. And if you like that, then do please consider subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.